The opinions expressed on the radio program by the hosts, co-hosts, guests, and call-in listeners or chatters are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not necessarily represent the opinions of Genesis Radio, www.genesisradio.com, Genesis Radio's owners, management, or affiliates.
Hey y'all, what's going on? What's going on? It's been a minute, but I'm back here. It's your boy TP Square. I'm in the building today. Came back to bump my gums a little bit with a good friend and brother of mine, Brother Ron Yates. You know, the host of the Reason for Reason show right here on Genesis Radio. And we just gonna sit here today and bump our gums and have a little conversation about life in general. You know, the state of the world and a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, so. What's up, Ron?
I can't call it, brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, it's a beautiful day to be alive, man. And, you know, I'm just thankful, man, that, you know, to realize that as two middle-aged black men, we know that our health is our wealth.
There you go,
you
brother.
You know, man. And every time I see you, it inspires me.
Oh, thank you, brother.
And hopefully when you look at me, I inspire you.
Absolutely.
You know, so, we on our health kick right now. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I'm still out there. I'm still out there walking around the pond and you know, I ain't been going to the gym as much as I should. You know, my son, you know, he a little salty with me because I ain't in the gym with him no more because he was killing me in the gym.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? I don't want to bulk up.
Right.
I just want to be toned. I don't want to lift heavy weights.
No, I hear you.
And you know, and I don't want to run 10 miles.
Right.
I just don't want to do that.
Well,
you know what I mean?
I went to the gym this morning because I haven't been this whole week. I've been, you know, working. And I'm in the school district chasing these kids up and down the stairs. I'm getting my cardio and getting my steps in. But I said, you know, I got some time this morning. Let me get in here and get some work done. You know?
I hear that, man. I hear that. But you know, what's crazy is I'm looking at a lot of people, you know, and I do make my occasions dropping at the gym, right? You know, and the conversation that's going on in the gym, you know, is one of frustration. You know, a lot of people are in the gym today working out their frustration.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they hitting them. A lot of these dudes, they hitting them weights hard. I'm like, bro, you killing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And even the women in there working out hard. You know, I have seen more women with their children in the gym than ever now. You know what I mean? You know, maybe because it was the summertime. I don't know what, you know. Normally they find a babysitter for the kids, you know, but they got them in the gym. They in there, they working out, you know, and everybody is concerned about our way of life. You know, we're getting back to a point, in my opinion, of 9/11. You remember how after 9/11, we all just became Americans?
Yeah.
There was no African American. There was no Jewish American. There was no white American. We just was American. You know, so, you know, we do our unity in the community thing. And that's what we had after 9/11. The United States of America was united on all fronts. You know what I mean? You saw people getting together, socializing and sharing their fears and concerns that a day before 9/11, they wouldn't speak to each other. They wouldn't look at each other, you know, but what I'm noticing in the gym right now, we're getting back to that.
You know, I think it's kind of like the subway in New York, right? There are times when the subway is below ground.
Yes.
And then at some point, it comes up and is above ground,
right.
Elevated tracks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same can be said of racism and bigotry. It goes underground for a period of time. During 9/11, that racism and that bigotry out of fear went underground, right? And as soon as we believed the fear was over, that we were no longer under constant threat, then we reverted back to hating one another, right? And now in this country is so sharply divided, right? I think some of what you're seeing is there are a lot of Republican voters that are having some serious regrets and that are breaking away from the Trump camp. They're no longer drinking the Trump Kool-Aid. You know, I saw the other day Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? Now, when you talk about crazy, she is, for lack of a better term, batshit crazy, right? But even in her delusional state, she recognizes that Trump may not be the way to go. She's no longer worshiping at the altar of orange anymore. You don't see her wearing the red hat no more. She's speaking out against Trump. And if Marjorie Taylor Greene...
No, she definitely ain't wearing the red hat.
No, she's not wearing the red hat.
No.
So if there's hope for Marjorie Taylor Greene, there may be hope for others to break away from the Temple of Orange as well.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
But you know what I truly believe is that in America, the same things that divide us are the same things that unite us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just a matter of having a conversation, talking, pointing out things, because guess what? I often say the Bible's right and somebody's wrong, even though we know the Bible ain't right all the time. But you know what? A lie is a lie.
Right.
And being misled, sometimes there's no coming back from that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we have seen all this before. That's why it's important to erase the books.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and don't say different things, because guess what? The things I learned in school about history of the world and American history, right? American history is relatively new, all right?
Mm-hmm.
But just going back to the early 1900s in the world, we are revisiting Nazi Germany right now.
Absolutely.
And what's crazy about this is the exact same tactic is being used. And one thing I got to salute the German people for today is they have repented for the Nazi party, right? They turned over a new leaf, and they paid restitution.
A great deal.
You know, for the Nazi party. Because in hindsight, the majority of German people wasn't Nazis. In my opinion, from what I read, you know, from what I was taught, right? But if you have a Gestapo type force, you turn the military against the people, the fear takes over.
Which is what Trump is doing right now.
Exactly. The fear will take over. So if you don't agree, you're going to agree to disagree and not say anything. So you just want to toe the line. Because guess what? There were so many people in Nazi Germany who saved lives. Wasn't part of the massacre of the Jewish population and other ethnic minorities over there. So we can't paint everybody with the same brush.
No, you can't, right? I mean, a lot of people join the Nazi party not necessarily for the extreme acts that they committed, but it was just ideological. Like a lot of people join the Republican Party because they're just completely turned off by the Democrats, right? And what they call being woke. So they don't identify with the Democrats, so they ran over to the Republicans, right? And a lot of them now, and you see it, are not agreeing with the more extreme policies of Trump. Like some of these same Republicans that voted for Trump, when they deported Kilmar Abrego Garcia the first time, they were
Right.
like, "What are you doing?
Mhm.
The guy's been here all these years, hardworking family man. He's not bothering anybody. He's not a criminal. You said you were getting rid of the worst of the worst. But what you're doing is you're rounding up hardworking people that haven't done anything. Like these people have never committed a crime.
Right.
If you are an immigrant and you're here illegally, the last thing you want to do is draw attention to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So these people are not criminals. Most of them have a record nowhere near what Trump has. He's got 34 felony convictions, talking about the worst of the worst. That's you, my man.
Yeah.
But, you know, so a lot of people are turned off by that. A lot of people now, a big one for Trump is these damn Epstein files. They will not go away. You know what I mean? The other day, they just said that the FBI redacted Trump's name from the files.
Well, you knew they were going to do that.
Well, yeah, because, you know, it's Kash Patel. And Kash Patel will, you know, change his depends and wipe his ass if he asked him to. But the reality is that a lot of people are upset because Trump promised that he was going to reveal the names in that file. Then he turns around and his hand-selected attorney general, who was one of his personal attorneys, says, "Oh, I have the files on my desk." Well, where are the files now? If they were on your desk, where are they now?
Yeah, you're right.
Why haven't we seen them?
Where are they now?
Right.
Right. Well, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, one of the sad things that I'm looking at, right, is you got to give Trump credit, right? He lies a lot.
That's
right?
all he does.
He lies a lot.
Yeah.
But within his lies, there's some truth. You know why I say this? There's some truth within the lie?
Mm-hmm.
Because he called you out and told you who you were.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "I love the poorly uneducated," right? And then he kept repeating, "I can go on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and not get arrested for it."
Mm-hmm. Not
Right?
lose a vote.
Not lose vote, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he told you what he was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
He told you he was going to round up all the immigrants
Mm-hmm.
and kick them out the country.
Yeah.
He told you that,
Mm-hmm.
right? He's towing the line of Stephen Miller,
Mm-hmm.
right? Who was a miserable character in himself, right?
Yeah.
He's towing the line of him, right? But he told you. So now I'm looking at all these Arkansas people, all these farmers in middle America, right? You grow soybean, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much soybean is used in America?
Not a lot.
That's a crop that we exported
To China.
to China.
Yep.
The Chinese and the Japanese and Indonesians brought your crop,
Mm-hmm.
right? You didn't grow anything else,
Right.
Because it was such a profitable crop
Mm-hmm.
that's all you did, right? Now, what I remember about farming from, I went to school in Florida, right? So what I remember is that 1 or 2 years you would grow one product and then you switch to another product because it kept the soil fertile.
Soil erosion. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's smart thinking. Had these people that were listening to Trump thought about these things and the fact that the tariff, me being me, a visionary, and I like to think past go, I would immediately planted a different crop.
Mm-hmm.
I would not have went back to the same old sandwich of soybeans.
But you know what? See, the government pays them to produce soybeans, right? Because the government knows that China was the biggest market for the soybeans. So they would incentivize farmers to grow soybeans, right? And they're like, well, hey, you know what? The government is paying me to grow these things. I'm not going to grow another crop. Now it's killing them.
It's killing them. Well, see, the sad part is this. Due to tariffs, and not so much the tariff itself, because a lot of tariff stuff really didn't kick in yet, because of the threat of the tariffs. The Indonesians, the Chinese, the Japanese, and even the Koreans,
Mhm.
our allies, right? Shot the bird. Said, we're not buying it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to do it. Even though they know it ain't really going to hurt them. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But they know it's going to hurt the people he cares about. So they know that they're not paying for the tariffs. The American public will have to pay for the tariffs, right? But they know that we're about to destroy your whole farm industry.
And you know something? There is a whole new political and economic paradigm, right? People of countries are shifting away from America. Just the other day,
Yes.
Russia, China, North Korea, and India got together,
Yes.
right? And they're building strategic and economic alliances, right? And they're
Right.
saying, to hell with America.
You see what's happening in Africa.
Oh, yeah. They're watching Trump destroy the U.S. economy. And they're saying, we can't invest in that mess. Because here's a guy that's filed bankruptcy 6 times that never had a successful business. And this is who they put in charge of what they call the world's largest economy. We're not the world's largest economy anymore. China is.
Well,
China is leading the world right now.
That's right. Well, you know, Ron, I got to say this, man. My heart goes out. I have compassion. My heart goes out to those farmers
Mhm.
because lack of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding will kill you,
Mhm.
will always destroy you.
Mhm.
Every failed society in the world through time,
Mhm.
it was the failure to utilize knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Mhm.
You know, you were hoodwinked and cable told. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You let this man exploit your fears. You know what I'm saying? The browning of America. You know, they're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Yeah, that nonsense.
You know,
Right.
see, before it was they want our women.
Mm-hmm.
And once they get our women, you know, one drop of minority blood and you're not pure anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that purity stuff, you know, people brought into that. So, but the key thing is here is most of the things in the world that originated here in the United States of America, who developed it?
Well, you know who that is. That was us, brother.
We know that.
Mm-hmm.
There was just something I saw on a post where Mr. President was up on there bragging about how great the country is and bragging about the accomplishments and the things that were created.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who made the video
was showing the black inventors.
Was showing the inventors who made it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Talk about poorly educated. He's one of them. Because had he known, he would have been saying that.
Well, you know what? So the Epstein files are missing, right? And probably right next to the Epstein files is his college transcripts. Ain't nobody ever seen them.
Oh, no.
High school, college, even elementary school, nobody's seen those.
No.
So they buried right next to the Epstein files because he's never going to show those. Because he likes to use terms, especially as it relates to people of color, low IQ, right? You know, he just hasn't met the right brother or sister yet that's really going to go in on him, right?
Oh, what's that sister's name?
Jasmine Crockett.
Jasmine Crockett.
See, she ain't really go. You know how sister can go in.
She gets under his skin.
She does.
Just her presence gets under his skin.
She does.
You know what I mean?
But she really didn't go sister in yet, because you know a sister can make you feel about that big, right?
Well, you know what? You see how she shut Marjorie Green down?
Oh yeah.
And Marjorie Green changed her whole perspective because there was no coming back from that.
Right.
So her new perspective on Trump might have a little bit to do with her. You know what I mean? And the way she slayed her. You understand what I'm saying? But she gets under his skin. You know what I mean?
Any woman that would stand up to him.
Oh, that's right, man. That's right. You know, so, but again, these people, I'm looking at the farmers. One of the farmers was talking about how they were lied to, and they bought into it. And he explained how the Trump administration wants his oligarchs. That's the term he used, oligarchs, right? And corporate America to become your farmer, right? So they can control everything. It all have to make dollars to make sense to them. They don't care about the little guy. And the debate was going back and forth with one guy who was still saying, no, he didn't lie to us. It's just going to take a little time, right? He asked him, what do we do with our crop before it goes bad? He said, we give it away. We take it we give it to the pantries, we give it to this, we give it away, right? Then he showed him a video of one of the corporate farms that brought a foreclosed farm, and they brought it and took over. And you know what they did with the crop that they couldn't sell?
What did they do?
They burnt it.
Yeah.
They would not give it away. They burnt it.
Well, Trump burnt all of the food that was earmarked to go to USAID. He incinerated the food. That's people in this country that are starving.
That's right.
It's hungry people. It's
That's
people living behind Walmart.
That's right.
And he burned the food. Now, you mentioned the Bible, right? Well, the Bible says the devil is a liar. So if you sitting there listening to Trump, right, understand who this man is and what he represents.
Absolutely.
And then don't sit there and tell me that you didn't know he was going to lie to you, because that's what the devil does, right? He lied to you in his first term. He lied to you as a businessman. He lied to you when he was the apprentice. All this man has done throughout his life is lie.
Oh, yeah.
He has mastered the ability to deceive people. And when you listen to him, even those MAGA, right? These diehard MAGA that are worshiping at the Temple of Orange, even they have to realize what this man says. Not only is a lie, it don't make sense. If you're going to tell a lie, tell a good lie. This dude got on the air and said, listen, drug prices are down. 1,500%.
Yeah.
So in other words, if I go to buy drugs now,
it's free.
They got to pay me.
Right. So, man, where'd he go to school at?
You know what I mean?
See, we are so rational in our thinking, right? We are so rational in our thinking, right? We gonna do the math.
You know what I mean?
It's like, dude, are you serious?
Right. So that
but see, he loves the poorly educated.
But even they got to figure it out. Like, listen, you got to think.
Well,
100%. If he cuts 100%,
it's free,
and it's minus 1,400 on top of that.
They owe us.
They owe you the money.
Exactly.
They owe you 1,400%.
Right. So you know the sad thing about it all is, you know, a lot of these folks that are still diehard supporters. The one farmer who still was a diehard supporter, he said, but he signed an executive order to help us. And the guy said, yeah, he did. He said, but by the time that money come, I'm not going to own my farm anymore.
Nope.
And that farm's been in my family for 10 generations.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He said, when by the time that money come, that you're not gonna be able to pay for your equipment that you gotta pay a monthly bill for.
Or your house.
You're not gonna be able to pay the mortgage on your land,
Mm-hmm.
your house, anything by the time the money comes.
Mm-hmm.
Because
if it comes.
Because the money ain't due to come at the time the guy said 40 months from now
Mm-hmm.
or 42 months from now is when we're eligible to get that money.
Mm-hmm.
Can your house, can your land, your property, will the company that lease you your vehicles allow you to hold on to those vehicles without payment for 42 months?
Ain't no way in hell.
Will the mortgage company suspend your mortgage for 42 months? And the money you're going to get ain't going to be enough. So, and it took all that for the man to realize that maybe you're right. Because he stopped complaining at, I signed an executive order to give the farmers money.
Mm-hmm.
But he gave you something to give you hope when he actually set you up to fail, so his oligarchs can buy your land at the
cheap prices.
Yeah.
Now here's the thing, right? So Trump, like so many others before him, played on the fears of Caucasian people in this country, right? A fear of dark people, a fear of crime, and all this other stuff. So it got to the point where there was the slogan, "We want our country back." Well, I would like to say to the MAGA people who may be listening, this country was taken by force under the doctrine of manifest destiny, right? Where you believe the Almighty gave you the right to take this land and to utilize it as you see fit. Well, the reality is, if God gave you this land, how can some immigrants take it from you?
Exactly.
See, your problem is not the immigrants. Your problem is the man that you put in office.
Exactly.
See, he's destroying the farmers, right? He's destroying. If you look at the most recent jobs report for August, 22,000 jobs. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
For the month of August,
mm-hmm.
right? The month before that, it was 70-some thousand. I think it was 73. When that came out, he went and fired the woman he just hired and said, "Oh, she got the numbers wrong." Well, the numbers got worse the next month, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the economy is on a downward slide, and it ain't gonna get no better. It's only gonna get worse. That's why so many people are not investing in this country. And you know something? For the rest of the world, they see America as being at its weakest point.
Absolutely. All we have is weapons of mass destruction.
And you know what?
That's all we have.
We're not afraid of those anymore. Iran is fighting back. China has said repeatedly, we're not afraid of any kind of war.
Well, listen, the Chinese, the Russians,
mm-hmm. North Koreans,
and the North Koreans,
mm-hmm.
they have upped their game with weaponry.
You better believe it.
You know what I mean?
They're not playing.
Like Russia has a ballistic missile that can travel like 10,000 miles.
The hypersonic, that
right.
The typical space-based system
right.
won't stop it.
Can't
travel
stop
too fast.
It's moving too fast.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, dude, you got in bed with the wrong people,
mm-hmm.
right? And unfortunately, we have sold our world dominance and leadership
mm-hmm.
and control and power to Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Because if you listen, if you ever Google all his speeches that he's ever made since he came into power,
mm-hmm.
coming into
and before he was in power,
right, coming into Congress, speak to Congress and the Senate, through the Bush years, the Obama years, everything, right? he literally had his finger on the trigger, not the trigger. He was the puppet master for every war
Mm-hmm.
that we fought, and every place that we bombed in the Middle East,
Mm-hmm.
in Africa, was because he requested it.
Him and the Likud Party.
Yeah.
But did you see the bill that Congress just signed?
Which
A
bill was
bill-
that?
The bill that is going to provide a pension and health care for Israeli veterans of war. Not now, these guys have dual citizenship, never fought for the US. They fought for the IDF. And now the government has passed a bill. They're cutting veterans benefits here, but they're going to take US tax dollars to provide health care and a pension for Israeli veterans.
Well, AIPAC is huge.
Yeah.
AIPAC, you know what? I gotta tip my hat to the state of Israel
They know the game.
for being smarter.
They know the game.
You know, because they didn't have short goals.
Mm-hmm.
Just like that book, The 50-Year Plan, that we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
They make plans for generations.
Absolutely.
They will suffer to make the future better.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that they've done from becoming a state
Mm-hmm.
has been planned. You know, why did we attack Iraq after 9/11?
No reason.
No reason.
We were told to.
Why? You know, like Iran has allowed the nuclear organizations that monitors all that stuff into Iran to monitor what they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Israel hasn't.
And they won't. And here's the thing, right? Two things. One, you said, why did we invade Iraq? We invaded Iraq after the FBI arrested 5 Israeli citizens
In New Jersey.
that were involved in the events of 9/11.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We had them in custody,
Yep.
let them go, and then went and bombed in Iraq.
Yep.
The other thing is now there is supposedly some evidence that strongly suggests that Israel was involved in the death of JFK. Why? Because JFK said Israel cannot have nuclear weapons. And he wanted inspectors to go in and inspect Israeli nuclear sites back in the 60s. And Israel said,